Man, I love being a Leon main. I have such a unique mechanic that no other brawler has. Invisibility. I just love being unique. Huh, that was weird. Anyway, yeah, I just love being unique. You are a cat. Oh my god. There are 182 gadgets in Brawl Stars. Most are really strong, like Lilly, being able to go completely invisible for 2 seconds, allowing her to reposition around the map for absolutely free. Or Draco's Last Stand, which allows him to literally not die for 2 entire seconds. And then we have a Garden Muncher, which is a gadget for Sprout, which allows him to eat a piece of grass on the ground to heal itself for 1,800 health. Yeah, so by the way, Draco has the ability to not die. A Garden Muncher on any other brawler would actually be really useful. Let's take Shelly for an example. The Shelly player is usually going to be fighting in the bushes, since she's classified as a tank counter. And where do you usually find tanks? In the bushes. So, imagine you're fighting a Shelly in a bush, and then all of a sudden she heals for 1,900 health out of nowhere. You'd be pretty pissed off, because I know I would be. But if Sprout does this, you're most likely gonna look at him like, oh, okay. Since Sprout is a long-range thrower brawler, thrower brawlers are most likely staying behind walls and keeping a distance from the enemy brawlers. But their main weakness, however, is getting completely folded if they fight any brawler up close. But to compensate this, the mighty Supercell went really Supercell. Then why did you give Sprout this? This is Transplant and Assist for Sprout Super. Sprout Super, while using the Epic gear, allows him to get his super in 4 basic attacks. And what is your prize for landing 4 attacks? Giant Wall, which you can place on the map for a total of 10 seconds. Pretty damn broken. But here's where Transplant comes into play. A Transplant will destroy your wall and then give you back your super for absolutely free.
You're adopted.
Oh, Supercell, you have a very strange balancing team. Jesus Christ. That's Max's gadget, Sneaky Sneakers, which allows Max to teleport. It's not that simple. Upon pressing the gadget, Max leaves behind a giant circle on the ground with a flashing lightning bolt. Try to remember that. After leaving behind the circle, Max is now free to walk and jog wherever she wants to on the map. But after 3 seconds, Max will teleport right back to the circle that she left on the ground. There's a little more to it though. While the circle is on the ground, any damage that Max takes is reset after her teleport, but only your health is reset, not your ammo, and that kinda sucks. The main gimmick of this gadget is to allow Max's team to push up the map, but do you want to know who could also do that? The newest brawler, Finks. The Finks gadget, Back to the Finkster. Is that a Back to the Future reference? Is Max's teleport, but 2 million times better. Upon having this gadget equipped, Finks has a tiny little circle following him around. This circle tracks your position from 3 seconds ago, which means if you were standing in a bush for 3 seconds, the circle will stay there for 3 seconds. With all of his ammo, which allows Finks to spam all 3 of his shots, gadget, and then use 3 more shots, while also having more mobility than Max, since Max's circle is still on the ground for 3 seconds. Finks' circle isn't. He could press his gadget whenever he wants to. Meanwhile, Max, she has to alert the entire enemy team with her giant circle and giant lightning bolt. And what could the enemy team do with that information? Bonnie's on this list again? On the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, we went over Bonnie's other star power, Wisdom Tooth, and why it's so mediocre. And now here's her gadget, a crash test. A crash test is an ability of her Bonnie while she's in her Bonnie form, and that's already a negative. A Bonnie's meant to only be played in her cannon form, not her Bonnie form. You will only be in Bonnie form after you quickly assassinate a brawler, to then swap right back to your cannon form as soon as possible. So keep that in mind. But after pressing this gadget in Bonnie form, a Bonnie will be sent forward in the direction you are facing, dealing 2,320 damage to anybody standing in her way. Until I found out that this also has a knockback mechanic. The knockback mechanic could do a lot, such as canceling Brock's super, El Primo's punch, Barley's super, Ricochet's super, Carl's super, Frank's main attack, Frank's super, BB's main attack, Draco's super, Colt's super, Sam's second punch, Rosa's attack, Pam's attack, Griff's main attack, Ash's main attack, Lola's main attack, Hank's charged bubble, Angelo's charge attack, Meg's mech attack, and Shade's attack. So why is this bad again? Well, once again, a Bonnie is not meant to stay in her Bonnie form due to her very stubby range and less health, while only being used to quickly assassinate a target brawler, which you'll most likely kill anyway after your 2,000 damage super and your 3,000 damage per main attack. But to convince you even further, a Bonnie has another gadget called Sugar Rush. I love when there's a better gadget that makes the other one useless. We love Supercell. It removes cannon form's entire weakness of being slow and having a slow reload speed to a now fast base movement speed and the reload speed of B, which is quite fast. So there's just no reason that you shouldn't be using this. Unless you're either bullying new players or doing an epic Brawl Stars challenge video, don't use Crash Test. A BB. I really like her. No, not like that. I have her gold too. I know how to play as her, and back in my day, I played her on Siege and got her as my first rank 25 brawler. So I know how to play this brawler. A BB's a tank brawler, and it's the only tank to have a very fast movement speed. Combined with her very fast movement speed, she even has a star power to make her go even faster. The star power gives her an extra 12% speed boost, which I don't know how much that actually rounds up to, but you can tell she moves pretty damn quick. Pretty much a required star power. The tank's role on Brawl Stars is to pretty much allow your teammates to push up the map. This is performed by you as the tank, running up to the enemy and playing the distraction with your high amount of HP and eating all the enemy ammo, which eventually leads to your teammates killing the enemy brawlers. And to assist this playstyle even further, a BB has her healing gadget, which over the course of that many seconds heals BB for 960 health, which rounds up to 3,840 health healed over time. The best use for this gadget is to activate it while running up to a brawler, which allows you to be right in their face while also healing 3,840 health with just one click of a button. Now, let's take all that helpful information that I just told you and put it right in the garbage. Do you want to know why? Because this is Extra Sticky. Extra Sticky is an assist for BB Super, a Spitball, which is a gigantic projectile that could bounce off walls, with its main use being for cleaning up brawlers who have more than 5,600 health. Since a BB's main attack does 2,800 damage, and times that by 2, that's 5,600. But no. We're gonna scrap that as well. Because Extra Sticky applies the slowed effect onto brawlers who are hit by the super. This on paper sounds pretty helpful. You activate Extra Sticky, throw your super, then run to the brawler who is slowed down. Pretty easy gameplay. But when Vitamin Booster assist a BB's main playstyle so well of running into the battlefield to tank for her team, do you really want to lose out on 3,840 health? No, you don't. Let's take a fat survey. Are you ready? When you see this brawler, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? If you answered all of the above, then you're correct. Woo! Hell yeah. Alright, and now let's play round 2. Why does this exist? Why are we replacing a Griff's wall break that can break up to 6 tiles for instead some extra shots that you're probably gonna miss anyway? I just don't see the appeal, don't see the point in this gadget. None at all. It is literally Griff's entire gimmick to break walls. I'm sorry, I have arthritis. But here's Larry. Let's say hi to Larry, everybody. Larry's a thrower brawler. No, not that one. He's able to fire over walls and has a really annoying projectile, having it send out explosive shockwaves on the floor, not once, but twice. With bonus points being that the second shockwave has a bigger range. How fun. This allows Larry to completely wall out brawlers by simply just standing behind a wall. There are some matchups that are flat out impossible to win if Larry does this, by the way. But after the enemy brawler goes through a literal game of Toho and actually makes it to Larry, they gotta deal with Larry. Now, you're probably wondering, who the hell is Larry? Well, that's Larry. Larry is not a thrower, but rather wields a gun, which deals more damage the closer the brawler is to Larry, and deals less if they're further away. So, Larry's a thrower, Larry has a gun. Now watch this. Oh, I have a gun now. That was done by Larry's gadget order swap, which gives you Larry's gun, but now Larry has your thrower weapon, aka one of the best weapons in the entire game, which, Larry's not that good with a thrower weapon, but nonsense. Let me just take back my weapon. Oh. Yeah, so if Larry dies, you're stuck with his gun. And the only way to swap back is to either charge up another Larry with his gun or just die. And this has multiple problems. With the first one being that Larry has no HP. And this gun is a close range weapon, which means Larry has to be in the battlefield with all the damage dealers and all the tanks who have just a bit more health than him. And 2, this gun sucks. At the maximum range, only dealing 300 damage, and the up-close damage is not that much either, which kinda just leaves you questioning, why did I take this gun in the first place? Which probably has you wondering, does Larry have another gadget that makes this one almost completely useless, and meanwhile that gadget is a million times better and almost versatile to his entire kit? No, why do you ask? This gadget's really funny. If any piece of terrain on the map is broken, a Jacky could simply just build it back. A Jacky does have to stand one tile from the terrain though to rebuild it, with the rebuild having a 3x3 radius, which in simple terms, this is a 3x3 block, a Jacky could stand in the center of it, and then it's fully back. This is a 3x1 terrain, if Jacky stands in front of it, it's back. This is a 9x1 terrain, if Jacky stands in front of it, it's not fully back. Hope that makes sense. And also, by any terrain, that means any terrain, which even counts the indestructible one. Yes, indestructible walls. This gadget on the fun radar is 100% one of the most fun ones. It's so much fun just rebuilding walls. But if you're playing optimally though, I'd for sure run the speed Jacky, since Jacky having this very fast speed boost is very important to Jacky's playstyle. Running in, dying, getting your super, use your super, hypercharge, but again, super fun, just not optimal. Made with love, Pearl's gadget. Fun fact, I have never used this gadget once. It was still marked as brand new in my Brawl Stars menu. But Pearl's attack is kind of strong. The longer Pearl stays on the battlefield, the stronger her main attack gets, starting out dealing a measly 520 damage per projectile, while ending off on 920. Holy mama. With this in mind, Pearl is a heavy damage dealer. Even Supercell points this out, which is kind of rare. Yet we're giving a damage dealer a support gadget. I'm judging a book by its cover. I'm sorry about that. Here's what actually happens when you activate Made with Love.
Baker Blast!
Yeah, Made with Love restricts you to only attack your teammates, of replacing your very strong main attack with some healing projectiles. This sucks. Nobody wants to heal as Pearl. If you're choosing Pearl, you most likely want to one-shot a brawler, which you're immensely high damage, not heal your teammates. Which is why I'm gonna call all Pearl mains to convince me why Made with Love is a good gadget.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
There's a lot I want to say, so I'm wasting zero time. A bow is a control brawler, and in my eyes, is the definition of what a control brawler should be. With his super throwing down 3 landmines on the ground that do nothing at all. They just kind of sit there until an enemy brawler walks on one.
What the fuck?
Which the bomb responds with a 1-second sound and showcasing its circle radius for 2,880 damage. These bow mines are pretty easy as a dodge, however. If you very simply walk to the placement and then immediately walk backwards, nothing happens. You dodged it. Hooray. And now try that with 3 mines on the ground. It takes a bit more time, but it's still possible. And now try to detonate those bombs on the ground while Bo is shooting you. This makes exploding the bombs 10 times harder. Your movement while being shot and while trying to trigger bombs is extremely limited, which results in you being a very easy target for Bo to shoot at. And what does that do? Give him more bombs. With that all in mind, the bow mines kind of act like a wall. The enemy brawler knows that there are landmines on the ground, which result in them going the complete other way. Because bow mines suck. They're hard to avoid, hard to dodge, and cover so much space. You can even find some professional Brawl Stars players still struggling on dealing with the amount of control that Bo has with his super.
Mines! We get it! They have mines! Heals for the squad. Don't worry, I got you, everyone. Don't you worry. It's not gonna matter at the end of the day. You know why? Because we just hit bow mine after bow mine after bow mine. It don't even matter!
These mines are very damn powerful, and you always want them on the map controlling the field. What just happened? A tripwire. After pressing the gadget, the mines explode on the ground automatically after 1.5 seconds. Now, why would you ever want that? The mines existing on the map cause so much worry to the enemy team. They have to keep in mind, oh, there are 3 mines here that I have to deactivate. Otherwise, I'm gonna take 2,880 damage to the face. But nope, a Bo could trigger these mines by himself in an attempt on going for a sick clip, which who cares? But the problem is that this gadget back then was really strong. Instead of the bombs blowing up after 1.5 seconds, they would instantly explode after pressing the gadget, which allowed Bo to hide in a bush, wait for the brawler, press the gadget, and then they died. There was no counterplay. But now, Bo has to perfectly calculate and open his 3rd eyeball to predict 1.5 seconds into the future, which is like, come on. Though I suppose you could explode them on the high safe for some extra damage, but even if, it's still better to leave them on the high safe. The enemy brawlers now have to walk in a diagonal path and not even walk towards their safe, having them make slower movements to your safe, since walking in a straight line is no longer possible due to your mines on the safe, since they know their safe is going to take damage otherwise. So there is zero reason to ever use this gadget. Yo, Drive from 2 days ago, sorry for my crusty mic quality, but I was playing Brawl Stars and I was in the menu. I was in the loading screen and I saw a tip, and the tip said always watch out for bow mines. They could be anywhere. So even the Supercell Brawl Stars devs are telling you to keep them on the map. So there is no reason to use this gadget.